Hello, Ripasser, Le Tiniche, the Losia, on the Shebasana, Losina, Ripasana, Dondajiba Chaderua, and Zada, Law said, Yawasha, on the Lori Party, Saint Tunlichidi, Mosum, Java, Geshe, Ishe, Nala Mang, but Tisum Loshe says. That is a truly shame, and kissing the Dangama Nematilan, the Loshe Tamada, to descend to in the Loshe or Sheshe, and chicken on the two Shesare. That during young ones in my that in my topa said Chidanda, doing nonsense knowledge in either doing now do or the in that my topa se loss which or topic in it in the 60 share, that topic was share.
Good evening. We've been looking now for some time at awareness and knowers, and there's a third synonym that we can include, and that is consciousness. So awareness, consciousness, and knower, these are synonymous. And the division we finished last week was the division into 7. So that's a division of direct perception, which is where we started last year, just after objects. Then we came to inferential valid cognition, and now more recently, subsequent cognition, correct assumption, non-ascertaining awareness, and then which we looked at last week, as well as doubt and wrong consciousnesses. So those are the 7, and we've now completed them. The text, though, continues with other ways to look at awarenesses and knowers, and now we come to look at consciousnesses, in particular, conceptual consciousnesses. So that's where we're going to start tonight, and it's page 15 in our text.
I didn't my share that young Lorig la sumdu yawa silda, Delia yawa sumche, that kissing Lorina Lorig doing che sarava, young Loriglia, and sumdu cheva in a carchiwas, and Dunji Sunyulu Jimbiki, Tobasha, Toba. And Toba Shebache, Ransen Sunyulu Jibiki, and Matu Domeki Shebashi, Dome Sheba, Matu Sheba said. And Mevasana Sunyulu Jibiki, Dome Tushi Sheba said. That this is Sum Takajelo Dandala Grisum Cousin Topache, Dunji Sunyulu Jibiki, Topasi, Dunji and Jane, you did not do, Dunji and Jane, none using Hendela Topasi, Topasi Chigor Echere. And Monsum Sajid. Ransen Sunyu de Matu Shebas, the Monsum Sigorda, Kisnima Monsum Shesra, Delia Monsum Sigor, New Dandala, Ransen Sunyu de Juko, you the Ransen Sunyu de Nang, the Dunjina Majava, Sawa Nayu Kuni Zimpi Matuache, Denigi Matu Sheba Chikche. That Meva Chile Menayang, and Chik Dunjina Matawach in the Nangore, Nang, the Dunjina Matava Nangore, just not Denigi, you Meva Chile, Dene Nadukin Sheba Chigor, Meva Salanachi and so on. Denigi Domi Sheba said. And that Yawal Masona, descend Sumnichin Shigere.
We finished then looking at the division of awareness and knowers and consciousness into 7. Now we come to a division of those into 3. So the 3 we see here. Explanation of conceptual consciousness that takes or let me first just say, on our first page, in particular, there are going to be a number of changes in the translation, so my apologies. Okay, explanation of conceptual consciousnesses that take a meaning generality as their held object. Number 2, explanation of non-conceptual unmistaken consciousnesses that take a specifically characterized phenomenon as their held object. And thirdly, explanation of non-conceptual mistaken consciousnesses that take a clear appearance of a non-existent as their held object. So it's quite a mouthful, but what we're seeing here is taking awarenesses and dividing them into conceptual and non-conceptual. So the first is conceptual consciousnesses, the second and third are non-conceptual. So the first is a conceptual consciousness. Now, conceptual consciousness, or to a conceptual consciousness, the object appears together with its meaning generality, or my former translation, generic image. So these appear combined. The meaning generality of the object and the object itself both appear as combined to the conceptual consciousness. Then the second two divisions are both non-conceptual consciousnesses. The difference between them is the first is unmistaken and the second is mistaken. And what is it unmistaken? What is the non-conceptual consciousness unmistaken towards? Its object, which is an impermanent phenomenon, or as we have here, specifically characterized phenomenon. So the second division is direct perceptions. Direct perceptions or direct perceivers, which we looked at right at the beginning or near the beginning, are non-conceptual, and they are unmistaken with regard to their object, which is an impermanent phenomenon. So that's the second. The third is also non-conceptual, but it is mistaken because it has a clear appearance of an object that is non-existent. So its object does not exist, hence it's mistaken. So there you go. This threefold division, you could say, is also a twofold division, the first being conceptual, the second being non-conceptual, and non-conceptual has two divisions, the first of which is unmistaken with regard to its object, and the second is mistaken with regard to its object, which is a non-existent.
다 기승 아주 시에나를 제바 세디게 차상 똑바로와 똑바레스 제바 세 똑바레스 근데 이주디게 똑바레스 태좀 세데 똑바레스 내 지시나라 똑바요레 똑바마인 바용 그레스 자산디니 차상 디서 똑바레스네 제바 똑바레 이주 똑바레 태좀 똑바레스 시에와 이내다 똑바 세데 근시에선 똑비고 어디 시에요 말고 똑바레 라마도다 지서 다다데 델시데 다 토피고 어디 토바세 간이슬라게선 토바디 챙일 마선 챙이함 어디라 또 어디네 질이야 토발라기리 해서지 다 디가서 다 토피고 어디 마시요래 토피고 어디네 요래 다 토바 나로라 예와 디선 마선에 디네디네 요래세 다마 코로 토보 코로도 수르 된제 그신 제바다 지시 태좀 토발라마도 어디네 요래 아니 예와디네 요래 디가서 토베시요 말도 코로 토발레세 라마도 다 디가서 다시 해야 돼 다 똑바세 되는지 레그리에 다 토픽이 예와세 된 거 되는지 토발라 예와나 되는지 요래세 다 토픽이 대생이 예와 캬바치는 시고로 지시에 나로 토바 요래 토바 많이 봐 요래시 제바 세상 토바레 태좀 토바레 이주 토바레스 토바 다 지시에 나로 토바야 토바 많이 봐 요래스 그신 되는 시로
So we can start now with the first, which is the first division, which is conveniently labeled not one, but A. So we can start there with conceptual consciousnesses. Now, this term, conceptual consciousnesses, we've heard since near the beginning of the text. But now we're finally going to come to have a look at what is a conceptual consciousness in some detail. So the first time we possibly came across it was in inferential valid cognition, because the preceding inferential valid cognizers, we looked at direct perceivers and direct valid cognizers. But then when we came on page 8 to inferential valid cognizers, this was our first conceptual consciousness. So now, and then we came across conceptual consciousnesses later on, when we came to correct assumption, as well as to subsequent cognizers. Subsequent cognizers have both those which are conceptual and those which are not conceptual. And then, most recently, with doubt. Doubt is also a conceptual consciousness. So this term, we've heard many times, conceptual consciousness, and we've come across it in these four divisions: inferential valid cognition, doubt, subsequent cognition, and correct assumption. Now we're going to look at it in some detail, starting with its definition or its essence, and we'll come to understand more clearly what is a conceptual consciousness.
nangyo sede dunda jibari min kaare ma da songyu. San topa se dile karche wase dunji songyu du chigore la de kola yu gari nangore nangyo de dunji nangore la re. San dunji songyu du cheba se dunji nangyo du chigore se. Deni ki dunji nangyo du chikingi lo de topa jela topa se di topa digi topa de la yu nangyo de 가르 나유 지고선 된지 나유도 지고 레제 제산 된지 송유도 지비 똑바라야 되래 된지 유대 나유도 된지보다 제외권은 낭네 근데 이 낭위기 되니게 로텔로 똑바라 그래서 제산다 된지 송유도 지비 똑바라야 되래 거와 지당 낭유세의 송유다 송유세의 낭유를 고고를 찍바래제 다들 된지 송유도 제발라도 제가 낭유제를 가르치는 된지 낭네 된지 낭유도 시행이 로텔로 똑바라 그래제 대디시고 된지 송유도 집에 똑바라 해발라도 똑바디게 가르치는 된지 낭유도 지고래서 되니게 로텔 똑바라 디고 시행시로 된지 대 송유세의 낭유를 고고를 다들 나라
Before we get to the definition, let's look at this title first. So, conceptual consciousnesses that take a meaning generality as their held object. So, first of all, let's look at held object. So, if you remember right back to the beginning, held object was synonymous with appearing object. So, up to now, mainly the term that's been used is appearing object, but it's synonymous with held object. So, there's no difference. These are just two synonyms. So appearing object is what one has heard much more up to here. And then what is a meaning generality or the generic image? So this is what appears to a conceptual consciousness. This is the appearing object. The object that appears to a conceptual consciousness is a meaning generality. And it's for a consciousness to be for a consciousness to be conceptual, it has to have an appearing object, and that appearing object is a meaning generality. So if you see a conceptual consciousness goes together with a meaning generality. And then again, lastly, held object synonymous with appearing object.
랑센 송유도 제바 낭유 송유세 낭유인바 제가 된지 만나와제 랑센 자야 나제 랑센 유의 낭lö데라 낭유도 가버 랑센 나제 된지 만나와제 랑센지 나제 아니 유도 되네 나제 유도 진행기 셰바데라 셰바 마투어지라 아니 제 디거 시인세 얼다디 된달로 오숨 차려래
Seeing above here, that was number one we just spoke about now. If we look at number two then briefly, explanation of a non-conceptual and mistaken consciousness that take a specifically characterized phenomenon as their held object. So again, held object, synonymous with appearing object. Specifically characterized phenomenon, here in this tenet, is synonymous with an impermanent object. So here, the object is impermanent. Whereas in number one, this is number two, in number one, the appearing object, was a meaning generality. A meaning generality is a permanent phenomenon. Whereas so the first one has as its appearing object a permanent phenomenon, which is a meaning generality. For the second division here, the appearing object is an impermanent phenomenon. And as was mentioned earlier, the second one is synonymous with direct perception. Direct perception has as its object an impermanent phenomenon.
매바 찔래야 아니 된지나 싸와 나서도 된지나 마르와 진의 나지 된지나 마나 된지나 마르위 나위기 나네 유지 나유지네 아니 유 진행 셰바지 진행 가서 되는게 진비기 셰바지 용거래 대라네 도미 추시에서디 추시에서 도미 추시에서 그래서 매바 찔라 예바 매바지 난거래 된지나 마르와지 나 디나유도 지고래서 나유 송유세 나유 지고래서 되니게 도메기 셰바지요래디 추시에서 도메 가서 도메 추시 셰바서 디시고래 산나세디 된지나 마르와 나와시고래 된지나 마르와 싸와 나와서 산나 젠시 매바 산나 젠시 매바지라 능고래 된지나 마르와 진 능고래서 셰바지요래서 데라 가라스네 송유의 매바 Sanaja Sunidu Jibigi, Meva Sunidu Jibigi, and the Tome Trisha Lagre, Digor Shiavasha.
Just before we get to the third, so you see the difference between the first and the second. It's not only that one is conceptual and the other non-conceptual. The first one has as its object a permanent phenomenon. The second has as its object an impermanent phenomenon. Now we come to the third division here. And so this too is non-conceptual, but it is now mistaken. And its object is a non-existent. So let's look at a few other terms. So held object, again, synonymous with appearing object. Its object is non-existent, and that its object is a non-existent, and therefore this is a mistaken consciousness. It's a non-conceptual, mistaken consciousness because its appearing object is non-existent, or is a non-existent. And it has, and then the last term to look at, this consciousness has a clear appearance of a non-existent. If it has a clear appearance of it, it means there's no meaning generality. So here there's no meaning generality involved because the consciousness has a clear appearance of its non-existent.
And then all these are kissing shares are never sudden chance, so you chevala de Garangombo night one shares here. Just like Gari the Wombo Meva, the Garangombo one shade de la Garangombo Nangore, Gombangare Wombo now do the Dunjida Mata of Nangorwa. Chesa Garangombo Meva Chila. Umbo Meva Chilia, Umbo Imba Nangor, the Dunjina Majawa Naza, Meva Savanawa, Dunjina Majawa Savanawa. Chisnada, the Sunyu de Caresne, Karumbo Nawadi, Karumbo Coron Sunyu Chadere, Chisan Karumbo de Sunyure, and the Caridia Sunyure, Coronavi Yu Chadere. Chisa Karunum Umbona Washidi, Losheres. This is a Meva Sanaje, Udici, Big Tome Loshes, Kotomi Shep, Topa Mare, Washere. Called Losheres, Benedict, Karumba, one share Sada, the Nekas of Dungarti, Serbonai, one share Sada, and then I to give Tiniki Manguerwa.
An illustration of this third division we covered in our last session last time, which was seeing a snow mountain as blue. So here, a blue snow mountain appears to the sense consciousness, and there's no meaning generality. There's a clear appearance of a snow mountain as blue, that appears as blue. So the appearing object is a blue snow mountain, which is a non-existent, and this consciousness is a wrong consciousness. So when in our last session last time, we looked at wrong consciousnesses, this was one of the illustrations. It was followed with another illustration of a yellow conch. So these are illustrations of the third type here. Non-conceptual, mistaken consciousnesses that take a clear appearance of a non-existent as the held object. So the held object is the appearing object, which is a non-existent, such as a white conch shell appearing as yellow or snow mountain appearing as blue. And there's a clear appearance of that. So it is seen with a sense consciousness. It's not, there's no meaning generality, but it is a non-conceptual mistaken consciousness, or as we saw last time, we can call it a wrong consciousness.
That is kissing answer, Yama Dunangamash, Loshe Sherva, Loshe, Tome Loshe de la Tome Loshe. That is Tome Loshe Chagor, the kissing she might share the answer, Loshe and the Topo Loshe, the Tome Loshe Niorwa, Chesa Tome Loshe de Chasa, Chesa Meva Sana Jangi, Sundu Chibi, True Sheva, Tome Trisha Sadi, Tome Loshe Chasa, kissing she, Tome Loshe did that done that did.
When we looked at wrong consciousnesses, that we saw there were two types, conceptual and non-conceptual wrong consciousnesses. So there are those two types of wrong consciousnesses, of which one of them is this third division here, non-conceptual mistaken consciousnesses, or we can call them non-conceptual wrong consciousnesses.
디케싱 아저씨 원숨 되게 찾아라. 원병 원숨 이기 원숨 원병 원숨은 쭉 세텔. 아니 이기 원숨 될야 원숨 되게 참마 제시 나라망에 봐 숨요로와 디차산 디나 디디레다 단달라 라사 손유도 집에 또면 맞추이 셰바시아 디나라 원숨 되게 참마 제시 나라망에 디숨과 디나 디요 디고르디 단달라 디레 디송원숨을 찾아 나야도 유나야도 랑산자 능고마도 딱바디기 릭티 능고 말에 딱바 능고 말에라래 랑산 능고래 진짜 나유디고 랑산리스 진짜디 마투이 셰바리스 제르다 그신셰 원숨디기래 다디
Of these three divisions then, the third we've just heard is synonymous with non-conceptual wrong consciousnesses. The second is synonymous with direct perception. When we looked at direct perception quite a while ago, we saw that they have as their object, their appearing object is something that is impermanent. And we saw there are four divisions of direct perception, and those four divisions all apply here to number 2. So sense direct perceptions, mental direct perceptions, self-knowing direct perceptions, and yogic direct perceptions. So therefore, of these three divisions here, the second and the third we've looked at previously.
원숨기다 디 랑서 손이 도메 맞추이 셰바시도디 다데 원숨시디 갑로 원숨게 생예다 예와다 뭔가 자산 개바로 셰사르바다 디나지 원숨이네 원숨 체마 너는 제셰 나라망에 봐서야다 자산기 아니 나중 원숨세야다 라리 원숨세야다 혼수 다 생예다 예와다 뭔가 자산 셰사르 기존 똑바디게 제바마도 이주라마 이주나 제바다 고주기 생시만 똑부기 생예다 예와고 셰요 말와 다 기존데 대송 원숨 셰사르다 다 이些차원자다 원숨 자산 원숨이 거 차대요.
Of these three divisions then, the second and the third we've already looked at. And in particular, and so the third we looked at just last time, but the second we looked at in quite some detail. We looked at what the definition is of direct perception, as well as its four divisions, the divisions of sense direct perceivers, mental direct perceivers, self-knowing direct perceivers, and yogic direct perceivers. And within those, we looked at their individual definitions as well as their subdivisions. So all of that we looked at in some detail last year. And then, so that has already been looked at now. The third division we looked at last time. So what remains here really to spend time with is only the first of these three. Because whilst we've had reference to conceptual consciousness, whilst this term has come up and been used fairly often in the context of inferential valid cognition and subsequent cognition, some of those, correct assumption and doubt, we were really only looking at doubt, correct assumption, subsequent cognition, and inferential valid cognition. We weren't at that point exploring what is conceptual consciousness. So now we come to explore what is a conceptual consciousness.
다 당보 다 된지 송유도 집에 똑바 신여도 다 디레 천이 제 아는 거 야와세 니제 다 당보 천이데 가래라네 자든 제중도 진비게 신직세 다 똑바 해야 돼. 뭐 천이나 뭐스나 간들라고 자든 제중도 진비게 신직세 되는 실라 안 똑바라 그래서 자 똑비 뭐스나 천이스나 되는 실라 그래야지.
Quite possibly for a while you've been wondering, what is a conceptual consciousness? Here we have the definition of it. A determinative knower that apprehends a sound and an image as suitable to be combined.
다네 될야 자든 자단 된네 제중도 진바스네 진바 라이로바다 제가 라요도 자단 된세 니도와 소라다 된 내는 가르스네다 자단 자세야데 가르 된세데 가르세바 다 심주치고로 대양 자된시베 자니 자치소 자세야데 자실 고고래지레 된니 된시세 다 제중세도 Diniga Jane Simba, said Della Sumshigorda, Ja, Duen, J, said Sumdua, Chizan, said Della, Jashilukuri, Duen Labdu, Dunjilukuri, J, Jerungs, J, said Della, Jadan, Jajidan, Dunjiniga, Yum du Jane Simba, Jeva de la Security, that Imashigore.
The text continues. So this paragraph immediately below the definition explains the definition a bit, and at first explains what we have in the English, we have our square brackets inserted. So it explains that the Tibetan is abbreviated, so the Tibetan would not be clear without that explanation that follows. But we have the words in our square brackets, so that's a bit easier. So I'll read the definition again, but the changed translation. A determinative knower that apprehends a sound generality and a meaning generality as suitable to be combined. And if you want more changes, but maybe for clarity, this word combined you could take as associated. That maybe makes it a little clearer. Then the text continues. The term sound of sound and image refers to generic sound or sound generality, and image refers to meaning generality. That which apprehends these two as combined apprehends a collection of the two. So this paragraph here below just explains these two, or what we have above, as in brackets, because the Tibetan is written in an abbreviated form.
Dadine dosungda rungwa meba da rungwa said the Tibetan rungwa said the Karazana Dala Majibi Kibu Toba Dubi Koba Yubi Chiresila that Dala Majama said Anzuki that Chike Mingda Tanya than Dunju or Lobjong the nigga Majawa says or the nigga Lord Majawiki and Gansakula Toba Yore this Chesan to Dugo Regere.
And the text continues, there is purpose for saying suitable to be combined or associated because it is necessary to include conceptual consciousnesses in the continuum of a person who has not trained in terminology. So for those who have no understanding, who haven't studied what meaning generality and sound generalities are, then they are not going to know that these are associated or combined, but rather, so therefore it is included here for such people who have not studied this, that they are suitable to be combined, because they won't be aware that they are combined.
소수게다 지게 잘라 난기 잘라다 소수게 강바티게 소수게 통고로와 당한주 두내 되디 갑라 두스 지나가 삼다베네 아줄려 가르난 거스네 아 소소라는 거 돼서 소수 강바다 소수 잘라디 차사 소소려 지 간디쇼 디나신 진능구 똑발이야 능고로와 능마딩아 자고도와 능고로와 데네게 낭요도 데네게 낭요 갑라 나위게 저 잘라의 강바든 거네 많이 강방원에 저보다 강바든 찍부찍게 예와체 메디게 지금 나야게 딱배 채지요. 딱배 채지가. 내가 된지라고 당한서 된지. 당한서 강방원에디 당원에 된지 막 오버래 되러 강방원에 오버래 되러 이나 당한서 나도 강바디나 찍부찍게 예와 균이체 메디게 딱배 채지는 거래. 가서디 내가 되니게 나와 될 딱배 채들라 된지라고 그래 또바디게 손유라고 그래 또바디게 나유시 그래 내가 딱 또바디 된지야라고 그래 또바디게 나유라래 또바디게 손유라고 그래 숨가 찍바래다 돈다 찍바래 민카래 마도.
So at the outset of looking at what is a conceptual consciousness, we should also talk about its object, a meaning generality. This also is a term we've heard now many times. Now we'll come to try and get a better understanding of what is meant by meaning generality, or previously translated as generic image, and also I previously translated it as a mental image. So meaning generality is the object that appears to our conceptual consciousness. Being the object that appears to our conceptual consciousness, it is the appearing object of a conceptual consciousness. And as we saw previously, synonymous with appearing object is held object. So the meaning generality is the held object of conceptual consciousness, it is the appearing object of conceptual consciousness. So we can take these three as synonymous to conceptual consciousness. Appearing object, held object, and meaning generality of conceptual consciousness. So we can take those three for a conceptual consciousness as being synonymous. So meaning generality, then, is what appears to our conceptual consciousness. So when we, for example, we're all sitting here now, not in the place we live, but if we think of the place we live, something appears to our conceptual consciousness. So we recall our home, and an image of that appears to us. So that is that what appears to our mind, our conceptual consciousness here, that is the meaning generality. And if we then think of some possessions in one's home, whatever comes to mind, whether we think of possessions, so something quite broad like that, or a particular possession, wherever your mind goes, there's an image. Consciousness always has an object. So the conceptual consciousness has as its object a meaning generality of your home, of the concept possessions, or of a particular possession. Whatever it is that appears to your mind, that is not the actual object. It is an image of the object. It's a generality of the object, a meaning generality of that object. So if you think of your home, an image comes to your mind of your home. It's not your actual home, it's an image of your home. Your actual home is something impermanent. This image that comes to mind is not impermanent, it's permanent. It doesn't change momentarily. Or if you think of an individual object, what appears to your mind is not the individual object, which is impermanent, but what appears to your conceptual consciousness is the meaning generality of that. Likewise with the concept possessions, whatever appears to your mind is the general meaning of whatever possessions is for you. Hence the translation meaning generality is better than mental image. So there's a general meaning of possessions appearing to your mind, to your conceptual consciousness. And that is the meaning generality. It's something permanent, whereas your possessions, your home, are impermanent.
대신 예마 통해 강바 대신 제 강바 통해 디 강바데 찌비찌야 지나주야 롤야 강바지 나주 다 삼다데 강바 되는지 두 선비게다 강백이 입다 소다 차상 샤드겐기 똑바들레다 야 똑바디 샤르고 봐 지산 데레 낭두디 똑바들라 데니기 세부 나두겐디 나야기 나와들라 데레야 딱베 차장 강봉원에 대한 난고래라 아니까사 강비 된지 니가 되는 거래. 나요도다. 되니게 나도 안주기 야와체야 디 강방원이들이 디 강비 된지들이 쓰는 안주기 야와체바이나 똑바딜 나와디 나와나 신딩안주기 디 똑바드 나와디 디 된지들이 디 딱바들이다 디 모보들이 쓰는 야와체는 안주기 체하고 싶고 체고 당안주 하름 체야지 체투에 야와체야 갈래하고 체고 이내 되니기 강바 대다 강비 된지 니가 지금 난 거래. 나도 되니기 나에게 딱비 차디 똑바들 나위게 된지 있어. 강바디게 된지 있어 거래. 강방원에게 나의 강방원이디 이제 유디 그 똑바디게 진다유 있어 거래. 진다유. 그 생각도 똑바디게 진다유的 主有的新有些的어디래다 다등아도 똑바디 제요도 잠바디 강바디 제요도 강바디라 똑 진나요도 된디게 나와나시 강방원에디 디시 잠바디기 진다유래 진다유래 다디네 디나샤 강바나신 지부지가 여와기네 체메되겐 딱바체시 딱바치 요는 거 딱바치 되니게 나의 딱바디 된지세들이 똑바디게 송유래 di zinda yu mare, tokpa di sung yu re, nang yu re, ming tuanchi la gore. Kangpa ngone di tokpa di sung yu mare, nang yu mare, tokpa di zinda yu re, odi re dadi.
When previously, when one saw one's home, would have seen our home with direct perception, a sense direct perception, having seen our home. Now, just mentioning your home, immediately something will appear to your conceptual consciousness. You're not seeing your home right now. Everyone's away from their home. But the shape, the color will appear to us exactly as it looks. So we have something that appears to us, but it's not our actual home. We're not in front of our houses now. So what appears to our conceptual consciousness, or another way to translate conceptual consciousness is thought. So our object of our thought being our home, we've heard that the object of a conceptual consciousness that appears to us is a meaning generality of home, of our home. So that appears to us. The appearing object is the meaning generality of our home, and this is permanent. It doesn't change momentarily. But our house also, the actual house, also is apprehended by this consciousness. And this appears together with the meaning generality. They appear as mixed. So the actual house, which is impermanent, this too is an object of the conceptual consciousness. And this is the object of the mode of apprehension. So the actual object, the impermanent house, the object that our mind is engaging with, this is the actual house. This is the object of the mode of apprehension. And it appears together with, it's mixed as combined with the meaning generality of the house. And that's the appearing object. So we have these two objects, one being permanent, the meaning generality, the appearing object, the other being impermanent, the actual object, in this illustration, the house, and that is the object of the mode of apprehension of this conceptual consciousness. And these two appear as mixed, as combined together. And for us, as very ordinary people, it's you could say it's very difficult, you could say it's impossible almost, for us to divide these two options. They appear as one, these two objects. They appear as one, the meaning generality and the actual object, the house. It's very difficult for us to divide the actual house from the meaning generality of the house that appears to us.
Nangyu chingma doyma, nangyu lamna, sungyu lamna, tokpati, nangyu lamna, sungyu lamna, chingma doyo mare. Nangya dila nangdirisi, ngobo chiye nanggore, takpa chachi nanggore. Nangya dila nyi nanggore, ngobo chadi, kangpa diya nanggore, takpa diya nanggore. Chesa nangya ke takpa chadili ming nangyu lagir, sungyu lagiris. Ngobo kangpa ngone di nanggore di na dila nangyu lagi mare, sungyu lagi mares, dila kalar zindang yu lagiris.
So both the house and the meaning generality of the house appear to the consciousness, but we only call one the appearing object, and that's the meaning generality. The house appears, but this is the object of the mode of apprehension, the object that the consciousness, the conceptual consciousness is apprehending, is engaging with. So both appear, the house and the meaning generality of the house. The permanent phenomenon, the meaning generality, that is called the appearing object, whereas the actual object, the house, that is called the object of the mode of apprehension.
Ninguroa, Carre Tombi, Nangazuki, Medoro, Tombi, Nada, Sosuki, that Jig Kalaro, Shinada, Michi, studying as a drop of Michi 2 weeks in the Ningudia 2 way, that I'm going to do some time, Topal Pasha, and do Gardangers, Midi Chivichiga, Donda, Ibn Shazan, Midi, Manzolo, Topal, and Nangore. Now I do Denigi Topa de la Night, Mingonedi, that didn't answer Topati, meeting two, some Zingorwa, Chesna did Mingonedi. That the Topatigi, Zindayu Chagore, Juyu and Zindayu said it. Da, the Negi meeting when I meet Chipichigana, the Takwe Chachiore, Takwe Nayak, Takpach Nangore, Dele mean Sunyula Gore, Sunyu, Topatiki, Nayure, Topatiki, Sunyula Gores. Just that the Takwe Chadi, now you do meet the Chipichiga, now me my meet the Chipichiga, me by Chipichi, now Takwe Chachiore, didn't Takwe Chadella, Topatiki, Sunyuls, Sunyus. And then Mingwenedi, that didn't answer the two simple Topatiki, Mingwened Topatiki, Zindayu Chagore.
This process then we can apply to a wide number of things. So if I say to you, recall your supper you had tonight, recall the natural environment you saw today, recall the people you met today. And each time I say that, something appears to your mind. And what you are recalling is, let's take a person. So if you think of a person you met today, so what appears to your mind is the meaning generality of that person. So the appearing object, what appears to your consciousness, to your conceptual consciousness, is a permanent phenomenon, the meaning generality of that person, and it looks just like them. But also what appears to your consciousness is the actual person that you met earlier today, and this is an impermanent phenomenon, and this we do not call the appearing object though, this is what one is engaging in. So we call it either the engaged object or the object of the mode of apprehension, and this is impermanent. So the person you're remembering earlier, the actual person also appears, the impermanent object also appears. But that is the object of the mode of apprehension, or its synonym, the engaged object. And that is what the consciousness, the conceptual consciousness, is really engaging in. And that what appears to it, though, that is the meaning generality. And these two are mixed. They appear together, the actual object and its meaning generality.
인자고 땅아주 가르 삼당으로서는 아주 유가래 나아주 똑바로 삼당 똑바로 유지 가래 나와네 용원에 나야 지다 디직비직야 이비 딱비 차지 니는 거래 나아주 똑바로 나유도 배나아주 매도로 똑바로 되지 아주기 직시지 녀제 암저 거셔 다디 내가 똑바섬도 똑바로야 지시된 녀 두 선비게 똑바로 제요도 똑바로에 시에디야 난 거래 시에디 진거래 나와나지 진거래 시에디 and call Zindayu Chapter. That Opatilia, she did not do couple, she that Jibuchiga, your uniche made you can do Takwachin and Gore. Didn't it Takwati, didn't get Topati, Sun Yuri, now you, non Yuri, did Sun Yuri. Chesa, Tangazo, Karina, Topati, Sun Yu, loving the Lamsan, Sun Yu, loving the Karasam Tangos, Topati, you did now do you do one, Mahina, when a Jibuchiga, Imba to be. 나에게 딱받치는 거 딱받치 요래 나위 차치 요래스 디 딱받래 제가 되니기 유문에 많이 받지 찍찍이야 임바 나위 차디 되니지리야 송율랍 거래 디 똑베게 나유세나 디리 똑베 송유스나 디리 디 유디 찍찍이야 난 거도 유등원에 말해 거다 딱받치래 요래서 다른 간속이 똑베 송유세 되니지는 거 송고거다 또 소유 뭐 송고 그래지 디제 삼고 그랬어 뭐 송고 그랬어 시 전뒤 시에다 찍찍이야지 딱배 찾는 거래디 다 똑바디 소유리에서 제가 유가른 나와이나 대다 찍찍이야지 디 많이 빠질래 임비게 임반 찍찍이야지 딱배 찾는 거래 내게 나야게 차 딱바디다 똑바디 소유세지 되는실 거 그래지
To a conceptual consciousness, every consciousness has an object. And the consciousness is conceptual. What appears to it is a permanent phenomenon. It is the meaning generality. It is a meaning generality. And this is the case for whatever the object is of conceptual consciousness. So whatever the object is of thought, remembering thought is a synonym for conceptual consciousness, whatever one is thinking about, the appearing object, or its synonym, the held object, is the meaning generality. And that appears together with the actual object. They appear as mixed, they're indivisible, indistinguishable for us. The actual object and its meaning generality, they appear to us, and they are indistinguishable for us. But it's the permanent object, the meaning generality, that is the appearing object of conceptual consciousness, and the meaning generality is permanent. So the illustrations given before were all objects previously of the eye sense consciousness. But it's the same. But this applies to whatever the object is of conceptual consciousness. So let's say previously you're listening to some music. So you heard it with your ear sense consciousness. Now I say recall the music you heard. And so you're now recalling it with your thought consciousness, your conceptual consciousness. You're hearing the song in your head, and what is appearing to your conceptual consciousness is a meaning generality of the music that you heard earlier, of the song that you heard earlier. And it's a permanent phenomenon. It does not change momentarily. The appearing object of your conceptual consciousness, remembering the object of, in this case, of music, that appearing object is a meaning generality of the music, and it's a permanent phenomenon. It doesn't change momentarily. And this appearing object, or the held object, it is not the actual song, because it is the meaning generality. The actual song, of course, is going to be impermanent. The meaning generality, permanent.
나고 송유데 다 데니마 송유데라 미저왈 마선다 야왈 마선다 치고다 똑발이나 데니 송유 제네 송유디 제 제상토네 송유 미저와 니유베나 여바인자 똑바딜라 가소리 송유디 차르디 간의 친구라서다 디토네 똑베 야와 니체고로 야나 가서 제디 코나지미 똑바다 아니 된저 코나지미 똑바세 아니 제디 제도 자든이가 지면 똑바 세대 한 똑바를 예와를 마서 숨쉬 용어는 다 자지코나 지면 똑바 된지코나 지면 똑바 자든이가 지면 똑바 세네 똑바 숨쉬고 예와를 마서나.
So hopefully now the meaning generality is a little clearer, but we're not finished. There'll be more to come. So if it's not so clear yet, it will become clearer. Now we see that this, we go on with the text, and this first division, the A, conceptual consciousnesses that take a generic image as the held object, we see as three subdivisions. And now we come to one of three divisions of conceptual consciousness, and there are three. So here, what doesn't change is the consciousness. Consciousness remains conceptual. What changes, though, is the appearing object. So the appearing object can be... here again, it changes, the language changes. Sound generality, or the second one, meaning generality. The third, conceptual consciousnesses that apprehend both a sound generality and a meaning generality. And again, just to say why I changed this back to what other translators use, is because generic image is very useful if you're thinking of perhaps a relative who died. An image appears to your mind. The term doesn't work very well if you're thinking of a concept. So if you're thinking of a philosophical concept, an image doesn't appear to the mind, but rather the general meaning appears to your mind. So therefore, meaning generality, sound generality is a much clearer translation.
나 똑바딜라 송유디 나요디 갈라 다 또바 가시에 송유 가시에 세부 나야다 가시에 세부 시라마나 가시에 간저 난기 유메야 간저 하고 말와 가시에 간저 난 데네시 두 샘피게 나와야 돼 간저 하고 고투고로 락바락바 간저 하고 두고래 가시에 한 송유디 나유디 세부메디 간저 하고 마토 용고로와 배나가 저기 땅아저 대시 미를 토바이나 아데네 투용다 제람사 세부를 두고도 제제 똑바들 세부 능도와 지수 된지의 세부 능고래 이상아 저기 강바다 소소라랑기 자라로 되는 여러 선배 삼다도 디 자라디 두부자자 간전데 똑바 능고로와 디 된지디게 가서 송유디게 세부 나유 세부 능고래 땅아 절야 세부 나마도와 가서는 아주기 미다바 라요데 지 삼다데 미다와세데 송유디데 된지디 하서 세부 아주 가르치나 나데 간지도 세부 하고 문도와 똑바들 나난고데 이나스 간주기 간지 두세 간주 똑바들라 된지디 세부 능고마 세부 능고데 세부요 난두고 능고마 간주기 하고 말 진짜 디네자 디네기 된지 송유세 나유자 송유 나유도 가시에 또 세부 나야다 가시에 메 세부 만나와다 되는 용거다
whilst every consciousness has an object, that object sometimes appears with more clarity than others. So let's say we spend time with someone today, and now you recall them. So now with your conceptual consciousness, you recall someone that you met and spent time with earlier on today. You are likely to remember them very clearly. So they will appear clearly to your conceptual consciousness. The appearing object will be clear, the meaning generality of them will be clear. But and similarly, if I ask you to recall your home, immediately something comes to mind. Or if you think about your individual possessions, immediately something will come to mind. So the appearing object with these objects that we're very familiar with appears clearly. Or to express it differently, the meaning generality of objects that we're very familiar with appears clearly. But this isn't always the case. So for example, if we say impermanence, think about impermanence. So the consciousness is a conceptual consciousness, so therefore its object is a meaning generality. But because we're not greatly familiar with the object, impermanence, it doesn't appear so clearly to our conceptual consciousness. Or to express it differently, the meaning generality of impermanence doesn't appear clearly to our conceptual consciousness.
다들 마 똑바 숨니 예와 시에도 별이 자원 변에 천실 마소나가 좀 분발해야 자시 시거래. 제가 다디서 녀망은 좀 별이야 베지 치료갑라 아니 가르스네 지게 내가 저게 랍준술이 튀고와 지지도 공부 나라 기디나 까와다 분바다 기디나 통화예요 버와 제가 분발 봐 자시바네 분바 통도 남상 세우슈 전투고로 하고 세우이 하고 비셔서 배 세우로 하고 두고를 분발을 자시바네 제가 배진나 나마시 분바다 까와다 디네 자시고를 그래서네 남윤 초로도 두와나라 까와몽고 까와 차상 기디나 통통 저거는 초로도 분바 배제 당용으로 진짜 분바디 야세야세 통고를 진짜 디니시도 분바단 까와를 자시야도 그 통해디 세부 전야도 디니게 된지 잔하다 삼당하디 세부하고 투여게 개발 용거를 진짜 분바단 까와를 잔시바래 진짜 당한저 분바단 까와를 자시야는 뛰어서 갈래카로시 용사를 삼사 대장 저기 땅 안에 차상 통되게 로리아 공주유디게 진짜 변에 심지어 갱고를 봐자 시에잖아 아니 거스 세우를 하고 시에요 좀 생각도
Let's look at these three divisions then. So the text gives a very common illustration, that being we have it translated as a pot, but the same word can be translated as vase. It's the same word. So Genla is referring to it as a vase. The reason that the text has a vase as an illustration, and in other texts you'll often see not only a vase, but you'll see pillars, is because this was written in the past in Tibet for a monastic audience, and what they would see when they enter the teaching hall or the puja hall would be a hall with many pillars. There usually would be a vase at the front for the initiation vase. So these are the kind of common everyday objects that the monks in Old Tibet would have seen. Hence, the texts use everyday objects that were suitable illustrations for the intended audience. For us, though, in our modern times, a vase or a pot or a pillar maybe is a little bit, is maybe not as suitable. We could think of maybe an object that's much more relevant for us in Australia and say, take as an object a kangaroo.
당한저 자지 campa 침비기 자지 campa 침비 또바 알아비도 간지라고 그러세네. តែkangaroo said you 통 많이 와체. 통 많이 와체. 니마 암초아 고만요 kangaroo 통야 많이 유네 고만요 와체리아. 안에 되는 미시 여러 바당아서 lum바 니 구여다 되는 용으로 안 되슬냐. 심진 kangaroo said yours. kangaroo said yours 아직 라면도 안에 내내게 자주 고발 때는 캥거루 선배 삼로 똑바 시키고 그러다. 디고 캥거루 세 통요 말에 진짜 미치고 캥거루 세 요르다. 세 캥거루 세 요래 라면도 민디 칸바 자디게 캥거루 요래 캥거루 라면도 안 심전 솔 똑바는 가서 똑바들라니 갈리게서네. 니 유네 캥거루 통 많이 와래. 니마 고 많이 와래. តែគុំយ៉ាងដាជី캥거루 세 요르다. 캥거루 세 심전 캥거루 세 요래 라면도 안에 네 삼나 가서 심전 캥거루 선배 삼로 실리고래. 지사 데데기 똑바들라 캥거루 세디 삼고 똑바지 진고래 캥거루 세 진고래 때 이내 캥거루 세디 난고 똑바들라 나 저게 다 하고 오면 안 남아나 지사 난 어떻게라 델야 된지 가서래 송유디 캥거 대신 캥거루다 마히나 찍찍야 로지 지난고 똑바들 난고래 니 송유세로 송유로 델라 니치 자식 양파라고 자식 양파 가서 돈다 통요 말에 등원에 통요 말 자식 펴봐 점게 자식 펴발래 때네 거기라 나네 캥거루 심be 짐be 똑바 깨봐래 제가 니네 똑바 될라 캥거루 많이 바지 임발 나신 직직 나디고 능거라 제가 니 나에게 나와디다 소유세들 자치세 자치 코나라 그래 제가 니네 똑바 될라 나야 될 자치 코나는 거레스 맞도 된지세를 는거 말 자치세 는거 자치 코나레스 제가 자될 때니 캥거루 세디 많이 바지 비지가 나디게 똑바다 저다게 차지 딱 바지는 거 니네 딱 바들라 자치 코나레스 자치 코나레라 그래 니네 나니 유 캥거루 선배스미 똑바 될라 민 자치 코나 짐be 똑바라 그래 자치 코나선 자치디 진고르마 나야 자치디 난고르데 이네 진야디 캥거루세 진고르 이네 민콜레 자치 코나 짐be 나가 똑바라여도 자잠치라 때네 캥거루스기 된지데 나네 안 띵고르 짐be 똑바 인자 그 자치 코나 짐be 똑바라 그래 다데데 주기 심에 다데가 다니엘에 다데가선 자지 어디 자지 코나 짐be 똑바라 그래스텔라 자지 코나 진라고 가선 자지 자삼라 때네 캥거루기 가소레 송 캥거루 많이 바실라 이바치바치가 안 나위게 딱바 차데 송유레 똑바디 송유레 디 송유 지는 캥거루디 진고르 와 똑바디 캥거루치 삼고르 와 제가 데니자 데니기 똑바들레 민 데니기 나와데 나야게 지디 자지 코나라 그래스 디네 데니기 똑바들라 민 자지 코나 짐be 똑바라 그래제
It's famous as kangaroos are not just in Australia but around the world. For each individual, there was a time when they hadn't heard of a kangaroo, and probably there are still some people in the world who have no idea what a kangaroo is. But for every person that knows what a kangaroo is, there was the time they didn't know. And when they were first told about a kangaroo, never having seen one, they heard the word kangaroo and maybe had an explanation of a kangaroo, but this is all they had, the term kangaroo. So they haven't seen one, they've just heard kangaroo. Then later, through their conceptual consciousness, when they recall this amazing account of this animal called a kangaroo, their appearing object to their conceptual consciousness is a sound generality. We're not here not saying meaning generality, but sound generality. So of these three divisions, it's the first one, conceptual consciousnesses that apprehend only a sound generality, or generic sound as we have here. Because what appears is kangaroo. The appearing object, kangaroo, but it's just sound. The sound that has been said to them earlier when they're told about this animal kangaroo. So it's a sound generality. Sound generality is the appearing object to this conceptual consciousness. They haven't yet ascertained an actual kangaroo or seen a kangaroo. They just know the sound or the term. So that is an illustration of a sound generality, or rather, of a conceptual consciousness that apprehends only as a sound generality.
Denegi da jazamla dene kangaroo simbe zimbigi tokpati da garan nangorasne kangaroo jiyan nangore koradela. Jesan kangaroo di korongi zindan yudi chagore. 진짜 다 갱고로다 찍부찍이야 많이 빠지려야 찍부찍이야 나게 딱배 차진는 거지 다들 다시 권하셔야 되고 다시 권하셔야 돼 딱배 차대 다시 권하셔 다 갱고로 원내지 그 갱고로 요래 삼만인장 갱고로도 요대로 와다 진짜 요래 삼비기 진바자 갱고로 디코지 똑바디기 디가서 똑바디기 진다유 차고래 나유 말해 다 되니기 나유셔야지 딱배 차지 갱고로다 찍부찍이야다 되니게 나두게 똑바든 나에게 딱배 차리 수유야 라기래 나유야 라기래 된 자지 권하야 라기래 이 순간에
This person who's only heard about a kangaroo, when they're thinking about this kangaroo they heard about, being a conceptual consciousness, its appearing object, is normally, as previously we were saying, a meaning generality. But here they haven't ascertained the meaning of kangaroo, merely the sound kangaroo or the term kangaroo. So here we call the generality that appears to their conceptual consciousness sound generality. And it's permanent. So thus far, in this number one, all that is different is that the appearing object is a sound generality. It's not a meaning generality because the object itself, kangaroo, is not known. Just the word, the term, sound, that's all that's been known. So that's the appearing object. It's a sound generality and it's permanent. But to this conceptual consciousness, there is not only an appearing object, there is also an object of the mode of apprehension. That object of the mode of apprehension, as we heard earlier, it's impermanent, it's something that exists, and it is the kangaroo itself, an actual kangaroo, kangaroo itself. So although this person has never seen a kangaroo, they are, so a synonym for the object of the mode of apprehension is the engaged object. So their conceptual consciousness is engaging with an object, so its object it's engaging in is kangaroo itself. What's appearing to the conceptual consciousness is the sound generality kangaroo. The sound generality is permanent. The kangaroo itself, the engaged object or object of the mode of apprehension, is impermanent.
나 된지 장바 진비 똑바라도 다들 갈라워서네 다 녀마 심전 갱고르세데 암초 고마녀하지 이네 고마녀하지 통야마요 통마녀와 암초 되네 심제 요르세 되네기 요르세 고해 마녀하지 다 되네지 레데 사체 레데 갱고르지 통야도 당보 통야도 다 고 베니 나일레 갱고르기 된지 차산난 거데 이네 그게 심전에 갱고르 임바하고 그거 말해 직난 거 심전 누스는 거래 내내게 나요도 똑바틀이야 는 저게 되네 통화제 맞아 제일 삼다 똑바틀이야 삼다 대시 심전 되네시 두 선비게 직대 되네게 다 대시 통화에 갱고르 통화도 갱고르 돈다 차상 통사래 이네 갱고르세 민다 마신 와자면 탄이라 하먹어지 저도 민다 마신 와자 돈다 차상 통사 저도 통화네 대시 심전 되네시 두 선비게 삼노시나로 코로도 대시 통화기 심전 디 안 지부지야 지 나도 대다 지부지야 많이 봐 가서래 디 많이잖아 디다 지부지야 이뭐 뭐 해봐 매되긴 딱배 차진난 거로 와 지난 디 나에게 딱배 차디 나야기 나와들라 아니 가서 된지 양바라 거 된지 양바 되니기 똑바디 가르 징고라서는 대지기 샘쟁기 통 샘쟁이 징고래 디 샘쟁디 통야 갱구로 통야게 갱구로디 통야디다 유디 진나 유디 차고래 다디 나신 찌비찌냐 똑발이야 나도행기 딱배 차디 아니 된지 양바샤 차고 가서는 암조리야 고에 자고요 말에 될이야 갱고서 자세 고요 말에 그래서 미기 통하지 된다의 통하지 얘네 진네 통해도 엔된 똑바될이야 디 된지 차에게 직 나요도 나요 송유들라 대 된지 양바래 해서 된지 양바래 해서
Let's look at the second of the three then. Conceptual consciousnesses that apprehend only a meaning generality. So this then refers to someone who has never seen a kangaroo or even heard about a kangaroo. So maybe Captain Cook and his companions, when they came here, they had no idea what to expect. But they would have seen these strange brown animals staring back at them, and then they would have jumped away. So they would have seen these animals, recognized them as such, had no idea what they are. And later when they're thinking about what they had seen, talking about what they have seen, what appears to their mind is, maybe we could say, a replica, an exact replica of what they saw. So there's this, here I'll use the word, this image of the kangaroo that they saw appears to their conceptual consciousness. So this here then would be the meaning generality of the kangaroo, but only the meaning generality of the kangaroo. Because they have no idea what it is that they've seen. They wouldn't have been using the word kangaroo. They have no idea what this is. It was a strange animal that looked at them and jumped away. So when they then have conceptual consciousness recalling what they saw, what appears to them is only the meaning generality. But what they engage with is the actual kangaroo though. So just like before, the appearing object is just the meaning generality, or is only the meaning generality of kangaroo, and it's permanent. But the object of the mode of apprehension, what the conceptual consciousness apprehends or engages with, that is the kangaroo itself. Although, at this point, they still don't know it's called a kangaroo.
니마 통마녀아치 다 갱고를 땅보 통요도 직 샘지 지 통으로와 통요도 미션다 지기 어디 샘지 결혼하게 샘지 통도와 딜라밍 갱고를 라게니 디레다 선에 라르 제용으로와 디 샘지인데 갱고를 라게니 세들라 라르 제여도 아니 그 단다 갱고를 디 통제 데라 갱고를 라게리에서 자기 탄이 대한 고차제 고원자 다이 콜라 피디 갱고를 해 샘비 짐비 똑같이기로와 델야 또 갱구르디 코론 똑바디기 진다 유래 제가 똑바디를 갱구르 나요도 대다 찍비찍양 장직 딱배 차 나요게 차지겨 딱바지여 데라 나 자든 가소래 자든 니가 짐be 똑바라 그래서 그 된다디 메기 대야통 데라 갱구르 라그리에서데 데라 민 갱구르 라그리다 디 갱구르세데 레다서데 자기 탄이파 잘 고다 제사와 제사완자 그 자량고 돈다야 통 니가错的로 니가错呢错完자 아니 걸이야 디 갱구르 나요도 나위게 차디 딱바디 다델라 자든 니가 가서 자든 제네 나와 자치데 되니 니가 제네 지구지게 제네 나와레스 지산 되니게 똑바디리 민 자든 제 제벌 짐be 또 자든 니가 짐be 똑바라게 해지래.
Later then, when this unknown, unnamed animal that has been seen one is then told, oh, that greyish animal that jumped away, that is called a kangaroo. Now, in your mind, when you're hearing about this, you'll have your only the mental, the meaning generality of kangaroo appearing. Now you're being told that is a kangaroo. So now you've heard the name kangaroo, so you've got a sound generality as well, and because you now have the term as well as the object, and these two now are suitable or are combined or associated, because now you have both the meaning generality of kangaroo as well as the sound generality of kangaroo, and they are combined. Sorry, I think I forgot to mention that what I just said was number 3. Of the 3 divisions, that was number 3.
Kangaroo yune ha mogo danda yune ha mogo thong manyo chile michi kangaroo se ji dumchi she de an to kwale ya kangaroo se yore simbe simbe to kwa ke tha chik to ha dene chik che di to kwa di kangaroo simbe simbe to kwa ke re de ine kangaroo thong yo ma mi gi thong yo ma ro da dina shin da dine gi yang ji kangaroo se ha mogo na mini ngone ra thong de ba chil ya thong yo ba ne simjen de thong na ya gari ba ha mogo je thong ne da kangaroo 데니게 심진 진비 도와지야 지니도와 도와지기도와 다 데레 다 콘도 도와 직제 도와 이해버도와 다 데니게 심진의 통 살지 통에도 미지기 어디 된 갱구를 나르다 데바 갱구를다 선은 카 라트제네 안 미딜레 갱구르스 진비 도와지기도와 제선 도와 미저 숨기기도와 도와 미저 숨기기도와 제선 도와 미저 숨기도 코로나 된지 나야기 순유대야 민 미라메다 지텔라 안데 저기 민 가가데 민숨 다샤로 따로하다.
What we see here then with these 3 divisions of conceptual consciousness, they're all conceptual consciousnesses. What changes though is the way they apprehend their object, their appearing objects. So the way they apprehend their appearing object varies. So when someone hears about a kangaroo for the first time, when they think about this remarkable story they've heard, what appears to their conceptual consciousness is a sound generality of kangaroo. So the sound generality is the general idea that appears to our mind connected with that term kangaroo. So the general idea that appears to our mind connected with kangaroo is only the sound, is just the sound generality. So this is for the person who hasn't seen one but has heard about one. And that's number 1. Number 2 is someone who's never seen or heard a kangaroo and then about a kangaroo and then sees one. Later, when they recall what they have seen, this conceptual consciousness has the meaning generality of kangaroo as its appearing object, but only the meaning generality of the kangaroo because there's no term yet, no name. So the meaning generality then of kangaroo is a general idea that comes to mind. So just like with the sound generality, that's the general idea that comes to mind when you know the term and only the term. The meaning generality is the general idea that comes to mind of that object. That's in the first and the second. The third then is when this unknown object that one has seen is then named, then one has the two together, the sound generality and the meaning generality, and they are combined. So here we have the conceptual consciousnesses which apprehend their objects differently.
나 데니기 또가 숨게제 나디 또가 숨게상을 해 내가 들려 가르페도 something 아직 용식이로 와 내가 주가리 전에 디기 람 냠린 제알에 베네스 핑기리 내가 주게다 람 냠린 제알에 마페나 아주 동아 매버서야다 디기 주그레 핑기 말와 진짜 디기 주야다 동아 매버서야 마펜 반에 편도면은 아주 디고에 장고야 개미는 셈비게 섬라 용구로.
Now you may be wondering to yourself, well, all very interesting, but what was the point of knowing all of this? How is this supposed to help me get on a path? How is it supposed to help me accumulate virtue? If it doesn't help me accumulate virtue, what's the point of knowing all of this?
Donda la digi Karasungo Shigorasna, Dada Nazuki Patangbolia Lolia Chartibuchi, Sugorda, Perus Masuna Dene, the Taji Jamba Zemba, Tunji Jamba Zemba, Taduniba, Topadini, Yores, and P. Yudi, Nanzu Yudi, that she said Yudi, Sebu Hawa Dangbode, Godiwuji Bumbada, Gawasada, Dinner Charchapa, Topiki, Kawa Yavat Pashi. That Donda la digi Karashi Warson. 세상 분바당 까와를 디니지 똑바 디니 숨기기도 와스 디난신 소라 당한줄 파자도 샤도 아니 냠는 파자도 가르치고 올라나 세상 결혼기 강바디기 파지 메돌 마선 당보도 게 되는 닝바체 지로 메바 차이도 동도 와스 통화도 결혼에 가르삼면서는 데니기 대시 데니 다 메바 차도도 선비 똑바 나려 대시 여바디 메바 지로 바데 통고레스 결혼기 디 똑바 진비 똑바 디기 가르쳐서네 미탁와 라쁘기 미탁와 라바디 진고레스 제산 데니기 라바디 진고레스 제산 데니기 똑바 텔라 데니기 지바디 안 디나 지기야 딱베 차지 능고라디 된지세디레스 가사디 손유세 똑바디 손유레 대다 데니기 똑바디 메도도 진 지로방원에 지바하고 어디 지바디 고 안에 가서 그런 메도디 똑바디 진다유세래 제가 되니 하고도와 디 똑바들 나야디 가르선 된지 장바세는 거래 제가 미탁바 락바디 하고고 말씀 미디레 되니 지로서 배능아 저기 최게 타니 마진 롭좀 마진질에 지송마다 미탁바를 락마와 디가레스는 딱바레 미탁바라는 갈라고 미탁바 딱바나 먹어라기로와 제가 그 대지 메도도 끼에진 마 메바 소송다 닝바차 메바 철라 친사송다기리 마도 기지기지 가서래 다 미타바레샤 기지기지 소서 미타바세 타니들 랍신고 말 제상 코로나 미타베 락바디 미타베 그 데니게 락바게 되는디 코 징고어 징 락바 된다디 징고래 똑바들 제상 된다게 똑바에 된지데 나오래 이나 델라디 가서선다 미타바 라비기 된지 장바 징베 똑바세 차고래 미다지 나 데니게 된다 하면은 nenganzu기 미타바세 요르다세 미타바레다세 셰양도 암초를 고치네 기지기지 지바데 지바 삼마타베네 암초를 미타바세 고네 짐베 똑바텔라 다 자지장 받지 가서 자지장 받으면 또 봐서 최고로 가서 암초를 미타바세 고시 된달라 디니디니레세 마모가 인자 미타바 가서 우리 미타 자지장 받으면 또 봐서 최고로 나도 신에야 기지기지 지바시도 다대지 메도도 쓰는 인바니도 쓰는 인바 차이도 와 되는 유아 루도 와 저저 니메레 유아도 인바 차이도 와 데라 미타바라기다 기지기지 미타바레 센데니지 도스는 유레 제도 센 유아 조에는 되는 메바 차도 데라 유아로 데라 미타바라기레 세도 파자트여도 이시여도 다디 미타바레 짐바 또 바시기로 데라 다 짐바 데라 되는 또 바데라 자지다 된지 니가 지금 되든 진배 또 봐서 니가 지금 또 봐서 봐 지시고를 받아.
We've heard then about sound generalities, meaning generalities, and the two combined. And the illustration that the texts give of a vase and a pillar, or the illustration I gave of a kangaroo, we give these because they're easy to understand. So it's like many other topics we look at. The illustrations that are given are those that are easy to understand so that the students can get the general principle, then take that principle away and apply it in their meditation. So let's take something else then, that of impermanence. When impermanence is explained, an illustration of that's easy to understand is used, and that's usually not a vase or a pillar or a kangaroo, but it usually will be a flower. And we talk about how if you want a specific flower, you plant that seed, and then it grows, and then it withers, and then it dies, and it's impermanent. And so that we can understand. But we're just getting an idea of a course impermanence. So we're getting a sound generality there. Before we came, we all know that this is the process with plants. We've seen this. So we will have a meaning generality of that, but maybe we've never applied we don't know the term yet, so then we wouldn't have the sound generality yet. Then we get a teaching, we see how the two fit together, and we have the sound and meaning generality. But what's more relevant though, and what is less likely to be heard of, is that of subtle impermanence. So then the explanation will continue on from coarse impermanence to subtle impermanence, that flower doesn't only change at the rate that one can observe, it changes moment by moment in subtle ways. Moment by moment it's changing. So here one is gaining a sound generality of subtle impermanence, getting an explanation, you're hearing the term, and getting an explanation on how it works. Then one is also getting some meaning of what is meant by subtle impermanence. So therefore, a meaning generality of subtle impermanence is being generated together with the sound generality. So this is how what we're hearing here applies to our general topics of the Dharma. So that's our time up. So we'll finish here. Kati Chikshuna, Yamana Singh? Steve?
So, the example of the kangaroo, the person comes to Australia, comes straight to the Atisha Centre. They're driving up the driveway and they get out and go for a walk, and there's a kangaroo standing in front of them. They've never heard the sound of kangaroo. They've never seen a kangaroo before. Would not that first appearance be a direct sense perception?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When a person to whom a kangaroo is unknown sees the kangaroo here for the first time, would that not be a sense direct perceiver? Yeah. Yeah. Deni kangaroo mulmashepa kong.
Me thoa de wong so wa de nang ro no de ni thong so so to pa de yo wa je san di to pa de so re de ni ge to pa de la wong bi so thong de lam sa to pa ji go ro ma so ge de ni ge to pa de la na ya de da ba cha na di duen chi re so de duen chi ya de mi thoa de wong so thong go re ne ken go la xin ken go duen da de wong so thong go so bu de wong so thong go re.
So yes, you're correct. The person will come here, they'll see this strange animal before them, and they will see it with a sense-direct perception. The first moment we are sense-direct valid cognizer, followed by all its subsequent cognizers. So yes, absolutely, you're correct there. Then they turn around and walk back here, befuddled by what they've seen, thinking about what they've seen. That's the conceptual consciousness. And to that conceptual consciousness, an object appears which has the shape and color of that kangaroo, and that is the meaning generality of the kangaroo, but only the meaning generality, because they don't know the sound, yeah? And to answer in a little more detail, the conceptual consciousness with its meaning generality of what they'll later know as kangaroo, doesn't only appear, or doesn't first appear when they're walking away thinking about it. It follows immediately after having seen the kangaroo. They see the kangaroo with sense-direct perception, and almost certainly immediately will come the thought about what they are seeing. So the conceptual consciousness, apprehending the kangaroo that they are seeing, will be doing so via the appearing object of a meaning generality, even while they're looking at it. Okay. Andy?
Sorry. Surely, though, if you just see this kangaroo for the first time and then it runs away, you're labelling it hairy, running away. And so then when you think of it, your meaning generality is the hairy animal running away, and the object of the object of apprehension is also the hairy animal running away. So it has been labelled. The fact that you don't know what another person might call it.
Yes. So it is labelled, even though if it's not labelled by its official title, so to speak. Yeah.
What is the official title?
A kangaroo.
Or even animal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
It
Ngazo di hamagoi ki simchun tongdu di kangaroo de. Deni ngazo lamsang ngazo mingchik tagi yades. Bena simchen, yamena simchun dorje boy yamena karina. Deni di mingoni mare, deni ngazo mingchik tagi yade. De nangla dua yosare.
The so some nalaya simche dongeng to say that some when the ming tawas came out, ming tane kan ba udires ming.
Kongi ming tagi de, oh, di simchen kensa, deni ming simchen kensa.
Ni kenza lam di ming chego ma, ming chego ma. Ko ming se di ko ming se di 당보 지기 당하고
명 로 타기 요래
따고로 디 당보지 따고로 미치기 당보지 따고로 제일 결혼이 민다와 심진 캔사다네 제만은 심진 캔사라고 말해야 되네. 그 민다 살여야 돼. 안주기 당보 통해 안주 하고 먹으면도 민예는 다 살여야 돼. 안주 민이 먹어로.
So that's not what would be considered the labeling of the object, because it's you labeling it in a way that isn't known or recognized. So you'll be labeling it animal or strange animal or whatever, yeah? But that doesn't mean that this is how it is referred to elsewhere, or you will always refer to it in this way. At one point, hopefully soon, you'll be informed as a kangaroo, and then you'll label it correctly. So this isn't what's meant by labeling it as kangaroo, or labeling it correctly, yeah? Okay, thank you.